people are actively searching for roommates in the US alone. And there's a diverse amount of tools available.
The art of the elevator pitch has been lost, and we're here to bring it back. After 5 years and 3,000 pitches, we've developed a simple formula that anyone can build from. Who are you? What is your company? What problem do you solve? How do you solve it? Who's going to pay you money? What do you need? Nail that in 30 seconds and you're on your way. How will today's entrepreneur do? Pitch practice is now in session.
My name is Cesar Flores, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hearthmates, the future of shared housing search and planning. So let's talk about shared housing for a minute. Every month, at least 2.1 million people are actively searching for roommates in the US alone. And there's a diverse amount of tools available, such as Facebook, Roomster, Roomie, and Craigslist. And while they've made it so much easier to access all the huge volumes of housing data available, they haven't necessarily made it any easier to digest. In fact, for our target demographic of 22 to 32-year-olds, we found that only 11% of them find housing within the first week. And for the others, many of them will spend over 8 hours a week for upwards of a month until they do. So it's clear, even with today's modern solutions, finding a roommate is no easier today than it was 30 years ago when we were still circling ads in newspapers. And in a time when we're working harder and longer to keep up with the rising cost of living, that's time we simply can't afford. When you make the wrong roommate can make your life a living nightmare for months on end. And when you're pressed for time, it's so easy to make the wrong choice. That's why we built Hearthmates. Hearthmates is a mobile platform for roommate matchmaking and collaborative housing search. It's simple to use and works in 3 easy steps. First, you download and sign up in seconds using your phone number, email, or social media account. Next, you find a roommate. Our app works very much like other matchmaking services. So you upload a picture, answer a few deal breaker questions on availability, location, and pet preferences, then get to swiping. When you match with someone, you can chat with them to vet them before adding them to your group, and you can expand your group to up to 7 roommates at one time. Well, now that you have your group, you can work together. So we've bundled everything together into an enhanced group chat that makes it easy to plan things together, your move together. You can share listings and vote on them, set group reminders for things like housing time tickets, and even set up appointments to visit properties. We're confident that we are going to change the way that we search for shared housing, and that's because Hearthmates is fast and efficient. So for matching, we auto-filter your results based on your deal breakers. So you only ever interact with the people that you're actually compatible with. And we also know how hard it is to make group decisions. So our platform keeps up track of group preferences and also follows up with members for relevant feedback whenever you need to, so you don't have to. Hearthmates is flexible. Have housing and need to fill that spare room? No problem. Do you have roommates and just need to find housing? We've got you. Maybe you're new in town and you need a little bit of both? You're covered. Whatever your shared living situation is, our platform can adapt to your needs. And the next thing is so important. Hearthmates is trust-based. We want to keep our platform as spam-free and safe as possible for our users, so we offer multiple layers of identity verification. Also, Hearthmates is affordable. We have premium features just like other matchmaking services, such as profile boosting and super selecting, but most importantly, our core functionality, their services like roommate matchmaking and group collaboration are completely free, always. Sound great, right? Probably wondering, when can I get this? Well, we're releasing this spring, and you can sign up today at parkmates.com and be the first in line when we release our beta later next month. You can also follow us at Parkmates at other social media platforms. My name is Cesar Flores. I'm representing Parkmates. Thank you for listening.
You certainly have it down to 5 minutes. That was 4 minutes, 58 and a half seconds. Well done.
I forgot things here and there.
It's all good.
Now, let's break down today's pitch.
What is this young man's name? Cesar. We already know the name of his company. What is the problem that Parkmates is trying to solve?
2.1 million people trying to find roommates.
Yeah, I'm going through that right now, and it's a pain. It's a massive pain.
Are you trying to find a house or a roommate?
I'm trying to find a room in particular,
Okay.
and in someone's house. I'm trying to keep the cost low, but I could also solve that problem by finding 4 roommates.
Okay.
And I can't find any way to do that. At least the ways to do that are just, I don't know, the website's just kind of like are irritating. I'll be really honest. Like they want to make you pay before you do anything. And it's just ridiculous. Like I'm not in a, like, for example, one website wants me to pay $24 for a month. That's just I just feel like that's ridiculous. That's just because I'm not going to, what if I don't find the right people in a month? Am I going to spend $50 to find the perfect roommate? Sorry, that's just comparing to
It's painful. It's painful, and
Painful.
we have access to data, but we're not fixing our problem.
Okay, good.
And our solution works for either way. I have a room. I was trying to rent out a room. It works for either way.
Okay.
Both ways.
Well, that is exactly what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
Sound
Sign up
like
today.
you find a customer just by a picture.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sign up
Okay.
today.
One in
Who's
spring
company?
2019.
Can you tell me what the actual solution is?
A matchmaker for people.
Matchmaking for roommates.
Tinder for roommates?
I was about to ask the
Yeah,
exact
Tinder.
question.
I like to say Bumble for roommates because I feel like Tinder has taken on this certain connotation.
Bumble is
And at least from the design perspective, I'm modeling my design on Bumble in terms of visual, pop and like emphasizing pictures and stuff like that more than Tinder.
All right, so I'm not really familiar with, I know what they do, but what is Bumble's kind of shtick? What are they about?
So Bumble's thing is mostly women message first. It's much more women centric.
Okay.
What is it's Tinder with dignity?
Nice.
Right?
Sure.
That's what we're looking
but at
for,
least for
right?
me, what I'm taking out of it is I've noted how much they focus on the user experience and making things look professional and inviting versus just casually swiping.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm bringing because one of the core problems, specific problems that I'm solving that falls under the things that I talked about is when you go to websites, the list view is very unhelpful because going through to the first point that I was talking about, where sites don't make it any easier to digest the data. You have so many listings, but all you see is this endless list of scrolling items. So if you got it prioritized, that means that you can actually, and what I do in practice all the time is I want to see the pictures. And it just takes me 10 seconds to click in, scroll through, click out. That's lost time, again, contributing to that time factor. And so what we do, auto rank, and now you can just look at the pictures.
Who pays him money? The user?
Yeah.
So if he signs up for your service right now, does he pay you? He doesn't pay you up front.
Why I said it works just like matchmaking services. Maybe I can find that a little bit, but that we have premium features. But for the most part, because my audience is, I want to get signups. It's I'm not. I focus less on the who's paying me than if I were to act.
Yeah, I understand. From a marketing perspective, you're focused on. But
But who's paying it actually? It is the consumer.
And how much does that cost?
Premium features, so the super selecting is $1. I have an in-app currency. One coin roughly is $1. Super selecting, which is basically a super swipe,
Super light on Tinder.
that kind of thing, is $1 essentially, and then boosting is $4 per session for 15 minutes of boosting during that boost. And then I also have a subscription model which bundles all of the features, and that's $20 for 2 months.
You're about to lose it.
Yeah, the average you said is 1 month though. So
Yes.
how often will people stay on for 2 months, especially if you're making it easier?
Well, so the thing is, so the way that I've approached it is I looked at my competitors. Rimster, for example, has a paywall that is $7 per not $10 per week. So you would be spending over that month about $40 if you actually ended up using it. And for me, the way that I approach it is you actually sometimes it takes less than a month, sometimes it takes more than a month. But overall, I should be able to prove my value assumption within that 2 month period. And there's no point in me asking for more than 2 months. So I just say, listen, however long it takes, basically in that 2 month period, you're good. Like I have it, right? Because otherwise you would be paying like up to $80 at a competitor.
So it seems like you're going to come a time where you're going to know that, on average, 90 whatever % of our users complete their search in 43 days.
Yeah.
Or whatever that number
Yeah.
is. And once you can say that, you can establish some sort of a simpler pricing method. When I asked how much it cost, it was about 45 seconds worth of explanation.
Yeah.
And that, from what he said, that seems, and I'm just guessing here, that to me is a little bit confusing.
Sure.
And when you're launching something like this, you said your focus is on getting users to improve the service. I would think you'd want the simplest pricing model ever.
Well, that's why I said like we have premium features to make your experience better, but the important thing that they latch onto is our core features. The whole experience, for the most part, is free, end to end.
Just say it's a premium experience.
Yeah, it's a freemium product.
Sure.
Does that lend itself to a graphic, sort of a core, sort of take for those who want to know it? Or?
Sure. I mean, is that relevant in that? Like, because the tie is so close to an app that they already use, like Tinder. You guys are familiar with Tinder, Bumble,
Only by
like we're up. Yeah. So and that's part of the reason I don't go as much into how does swiping work, because depending on my audience, right? The people that were in the audience were a little younger, so
Yeah, you
they
said
kind of
audience is what,
understand. They
22,
understand
32?
Tinder, Bumble,
22 to
matchmaking.
Yeah.
They got it, right?
Swipe.
And so it works the same. Pricing model works the same. Subscription, pay features.
Mark's good.
I'm just curious. So when I lived in San Francisco, I used a service called HomeShare. Are you familiar with it by chance?
I haven't looked too deep.
Okay, so basically their model was because everybody's looking for a roommate in San Francisco, they went directly to the apartment complexes, and then the apartment complex would list their place on there, and then you could purchase the room or rent the room in the apartment, and like you give them your feedback on what you need in a roommate, and they match you based off that. But basically everybody has their own space within the apartment. But like when you say it, kind of going, I forgot your name right here. Fletcher. Going to Fletcher's thought process behind like when getting users, you want to give them and it's free. Have y'all given thought to the people who are listing these places paying?
Yes, that is phase 2. The reason that I haven't started there, and maybe, I don't know, I feel like if we channel the people that had that start, maybe they would express these restrictions, is that when you're dealing with that B2B side, that implies that you need a sales force. You need to start actively engaging those customers, and that takes a lot of time and maybe even staff, right? So my strategy is to go straight to the consumers first, prove my case there, and then once I solve one side of that two-sided market problem, then I can add on to that, right? I can add salespeople, and I'm already starting to make some relationships with some of these apartments and stuff, but it's going to take people. It's going to take some manpower to do that first. And I would rather have something come in and say, "Hey, you guys, I have a brand you guys recognize. Let's get in on this."
So no, the reason I asked is because I like the concept in general, but when my question was going to go to, and Kevin asked and answered it, is it like Tinder for roommates? Without you going into what the actual swiping process looks like, it feels, at least to me, a little bit superficial because it now feels like I'm picking roommates based on how they look and not necessarily our interests. And so that becomes a little bit of a concern for me because I get you said you all filtered them down, but without actually talking through that swiping process, it kind of is like, I know these people have the same quote unquote filters as me, but I don't like the way she looks, so I don't want to room with her. Like I grow a little bit concerned about that model.
Sure, as with any matchmaking. So I would probably add more slides. Like I work with only the assets that I have right now, so maybe I'll add some stuff in there. But also that's why I reinforce that they're deal breakers and I list what they are: pet preferences, availability windows, and what is it? Pets, availability, and location. Those are the three important things that you actually need to make a match. I don't actually match or prioritize based off of anything else, really. I just leave it up to the user. So you can't filter on like.
Why are you leaving
It's
out,
not very discriminatory.
Why are you leaving out price range?
Oh,
Price range of what?
The rent.
Oh yeah. So it's like affordability. Like it's in that list.
Okay.
He's tired. It's in the list that I was talking about earlier when I was pitching.
So I wanted to go more back to the presentation rather than the business model. I was charmed by the cleanliness, sort of the clean look of the thing. One point you had the word solutions, and I'm wondering if you meant like a way of, because you're not trying to compare against other products. It said like, I think you meant options, because the word solutions sounds like you're talking about your competitors, and what I thought you meant was options. The other thing is you have that.
They are competitors, or
well,
I'm not
they are
anyway.
We'll go back to the
message.
We'll go back to it, and then I can, because I don't remember. The other part
It's
is
just a list of 4 companies.
no, the one where you have the word solutions, because I think it's.
Oh, there's no slide that has solutions, but I do talk about that.
It's. Sorry,
That's all in my speech.
let's go through it. And then the other one is you have the picture of the lady holding the phone. I thought it would be a picture of 2 people meeting for the first time.
Sure.
But I love your overall.
I would like to address one of the words you used.
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
at the beginning, you used the word platform.
Sure. Maybe I should just always speak in apps.
Pardon?
In terms of apps, maybe?
No, in terms of how you describe the service. And the only reason I do this is a lot of people use the word platform and they get in the same trouble that they use when they use the word blockchain and AI.
Because it will, it will be a platform. That's what but yes, maybe I should.
Go one more. Keep going back, but go later into the presentation. So even with today's modern housing, the words, even with today's modern housing solutions, I think you mean options. Because if you say solutions, it sounds like you're talking about the other apps, and you're not talking about that.
I am.
Are you? Okay.
Because I'm doing a comparison, right? There are solutions out there, right? I do have competitors, but there's still a problem, right?
Okay.
And I'm trying to solve that problem.
All right.
Yeah, we're talking about semantics here. So I'm going to join the semantics thing and say, if what you have now is a mobile app.
Mobile app, okay.
Can I build something on what you have?
Sure.
I can?
Say what?
Can I build something on what you have?
Not today.
Good.
Later.
So it's not a
So
platform.
I will rephrase that until I actually.
That does matter. We're talking to investors, that does matter.
Yeah.
If AWS is a platform on which you build stuff.
So you see this as a platform later when I do add housing listings to make it easy to to integrate with whatever listing services.
Then it could be considered. Right now, just.
But for right now, I'll
mobile app.
simplify it mobile app. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Other suggestions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just had a couple. So I've been in loyalty marketing for over 8 years.
Sure.
So just trying to create a coin or currency within your app, if you're only going to have users be on it for 2 months, that might be tricky. The whole point of what you're trying to do is simplify things. So I would simplify that. People are part of loyalty programs for years and still don't understand how they operate. And you have a very short time window with people, so I would just make it as simple as possible with like the payment or the fee or the structure. It's just a suggestion. And then at the very end, you don't have to type in like the WTTP, like people know that. So if you put in earthmate.com, is all you need to do. And I literally just typed you in earthmate.com and it does a redirect, so you're fine. I mean, you don't even need the www. And I think most people in today's world understand that.
Yeah.
And then I would just, whatever your most important ask is, I would keep it one. So if you want them to go to your website, then do that. And then on your website, they'll find all of your social media.
They can read, I guess.
They could read, they could Google,
Focus on
it's
sign up.
fine. So I would just focus on the sign up today, earthmate.com.
For the pricing, would you recommend maybe, so I have, rather than tying it to some nebulous in-app currency, just say you have, like you have the actions that you can use at any time, like it's in a bin or whatever, but you're paying them directly with the money, like there's no in-app currency. Like if you want a super boost, like you pay $3, that's what it costs.
Flat fee with upgrades.
Okay.
You know, or however you want to do it, but just make it simple.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially because they're going to be on it for such a short period of time.
Yeah.
You want it to be really
Yeah.
simple, and then you want them to, when you have good experience, turn around and tell you
And I'm definitely still
super easy.
going to be, especially when we, my plan is to release first, then roll in the monetization because I want to play with it. One of the things that I've discovered is that because they're there for a short period of time and the pain is so high, they're willing to pay more. So I actually could charge more than dating app services because like you're there to actually get a match. Like there's no, and that's actually one reason why we don't have like match queues. They just go straight to chat because there's no like I got a match and I'm gonna just leave them hanging for months. Like no, I need housing now, so like I'm gonna be talking to them.
Well, I think that the bulk of the pain is on the person who's paying rent and has an empty room. So I would think they're the ones who would be willing to pay you more because the clock is ticking there.
It's all the same. It's all the same
That's
because
what you
when I
said.
talk to the other side, the customers, oftentimes their roommate, they have problems. They made the wrong decision, and now they have to move out, and they have to move out in like 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So their pain is time. It's always time.
they're scrambling for
Yeah, they're
something.
scrambling, and that's why when you make that wrong decision, and when you press for time, it's so easy to make that wrong decision.
And it happens all the time. People, they test their pricing all the time. So you can put up one that's like $29.99 and one that's like $49.99. And if somebody sees both pricing when they go to sign up, and they're like, why is it $49.99? It's like, then just say, that was, well, you have a special discount, we'll give you the $29.99.
So I think like the roommate, for example, their boosting is like $15 for a day. But I also don't know whether it's just because they don't have dynamic pricing and they're based in New York. So it depends on the market that you're.
Here's what I'm surprised you didn't bring up was that if they go to it through their Facebook, then you can actually find out if they have a 1 degree of separation where they can, we both know the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I can check with my friend if this is someone I want to bring in, or this is someone I would not want to room with.
Is there any guidance in terms of me, like the way that I'm pacing this in 5 minutes? The way that I'm going about doing this actually, and because there's the side of matchmaking and collaboration, I almost feel like in my head, like it's better to talk about it in terms of more generalities and then tie them there and then send them to like a demo video that's a little more like animated and like easy to see, especially on the landing page. versus like in the pitch, because you could spend a little time going like screen. Right? Or I can make it go super fast, but like I feel like there's that trade-off of like how fast you can go and how much the user can, or the person that's seeing the presentation.
Good.
That's why I bought the vision.
Last one.
I was just going to say, I think your pitch deck, I agree, is very clean. I think one of the things that might help is particularly on those first few slides, you were saying the exact words that were on the screen. And I've heard it said by some people, like they don't like to read and hear the person say the same thing. I think like what might draw people in is if you have pictures of some of the things that you're saying, or at least pictures representing the problem, per se, because people have a little bit more of an emotional response to it, and it also might help you when you're moving through the pitch, because like it was a lot of words, like, and it was all really clear and concise what you were saying, but you were also saying them. So for us to have that, like a little bit more of that connection and help you move through it, like just having one slide, this is the problem, 2.1 million people, when you're giving that data, if I'm seeing people like moving out of their apartment or like sitting on the street on a sofa, it's like, okay, I've been there, or I'm actively going through that, something to that effect, rather than one slide, this sentence, and then you go to the next slide, and it's the next sentence that you're saying.
Because I see something similar, it is actually not the same sentence, and actually go into detail. Like that's why like every slide is like 30 seconds.
If I'm reading the text on your slide, I'm not hearing you.
Because I'll play around with it. The problem that I saw was like when I was trying to play around with the images, it seemed like either too busy or like, I don't know, certain stock photography just, I don't know, like when I see in presentations, sometimes it can be a little too busy, and sometimes it's just like, I know, like, really, my purpose is like, I want them to latch on to one thing, which is like, roommate matchmaking is hard. Or maybe I just say roommate matchmaking is hard, and that's the only thing that stays on there, because I want that to stay in their head. That's more than a picture or whatever. Like I want them to latch on to something like finding a roommate is hard.
Exactly. So on each slide, one thought.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll simplify.
Yeah, whether that's if you can do it in a picture, great. If you got to add some text, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But sentences,
yeah,
you're going to say anyway.
Okay. Yeah.